ominous silence for the sick, military people, and the recently departed people of Bridgeville. Okay. All right. Roll call.
For the record, the Borough Council met in executive session prior to the start of the meeting to discuss a legal matter. No action was taken. Ms. Cimaroli?
Here.
Mr. Shasowski?
Here.
Mr. Colosimo?
Here.
Mr. Ferry?
Here.
Mr. Franchik?
Here.
Mr. Petroselli?
Here.
Mr. Sarasnik?
Here.
Mayor Copeland?
Here.
Solicitor McDermott?
Here.
Engineer Howell?
Here.
Chief James?
Here.
Chief Castaigne?
Here.
Chief Miller?
Before we begin, I'd like to ask for the council members to please allow me to finish my sentence before anybody comments, so that we don't, since I'm trying to get familiar with this sequence, I don't want to need any interruptions until I finish my sentence. All right? Thank you. All right, so no public.
No one was signed in.
Okay. All right, so I need a motion to approve the January 5th, 2026 regular meeting minutes as submitted.
My motion.
Second,
Second.
any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, say nay. Okay, motion passes. A motion to approve the February 2026 bill list. I need a motion to approve.
Make a motion.
Second.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion passes. Motion to approve the February 13th, 2027 and March 6th, 2026 payrolls. I need a motion to authorize.
Make a motion.
I need a second. Any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Motion passes. A motion to adopt resolution number 2026-7, a resolution of the Borough of Bridgeville authorizing the disposal of records in compliance with the Municipal Records Manuals approved on July 16, 1993, in accordance with Act 428 of 1968.
Make a motion.
I need a second.
Second.
Any questions?
Yes, I have a question. Which is the manner to which they will be disposed of? Are they shredded?
Oh, we use a shredding company.
Shredded company? Thank you.
Any other questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion passes. A motion to adopt resolution number 2026-8, a resolution of the Borough of Bridgeville authorizing the submission of a Pennsylvania Department of Conservation and Natural Resources grant application for the Chartiers Park Field Lighting Project.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion passes. A motion to accept the lowest responsible bid received from Roto-Rooter Plumbing in the amount of $78,290 for the base bid and add alternates number 1 and 2 of 2026 sanitary sewer O&M CCTV program, subject to the contractor obtaining the required insurance certificates, performance bonds, payment bonds, and review and approval by by the borough solicitor prior to execution of the agreement by the borough. I need a motion to authorize.
Make a motion.
I need a second.
Second.
Any questions?
One question, Mayor.
Good.
Joe, is this a 1 year?
to review these annually?
We do this contract every year.
Okay. Yeah, just I know they beat Robinson this year, so I didn't know if they didn't work out, how long we have them for.
No, just that one.
Cool, thank you.
Okay.
That's all I have. Thank you.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion passes. A motion to authorize the annual Bridgeville Day on the Avenue event to be held on Saturday, June 20th, 2026.
So moved.
I need a second.
Second.
Any questions?
Joe, I'm just curious, they're having the 125-year thing for the borough this year, I guess in June. Have they approached the borough looking for money or donations or anything so far?
No, they haven't. We've been talking to them, but the events are in July.
Oh, July.
But there hasn't been a monetary request.
Is this the weekend of Father's Day?
Always.
We're not going to discuss that this year?
So there'll still be a car cruise that day. And the dump tank, right? It's, dump tank.
Okay.
Dump tank.
All right, all in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? Motion passes. All right, a motion to authorize the purchase of a story walk trailhead arch sign for Chartiers Park from GNS Signs at a cost not exceeding $9,470.36. Note, the Bridgeville Rotary Club will reimburse the borough the full cost of this purchase with installation provided by the borough's Public Works Department.
I'll make a motion.
I need a second.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion passes. A motion to authorize the borough engineer to prepare and advertise specifications for paving the following streets under consideration for the 2026 road paving program, with the final determination of streets to be paved subject to change depending on bids received and funds available as noted in this list. A, Sarah Street. B, Missouri Avenue from Pennsylvania Avenue to house number 1435. Charlotte Street. C, which is an alternate bid. And D, Lurie Street, half from Midwalk Hill to Terminus, and that's also an alternate bid. I need a motion to authorize.
I'll make a
So
motion.
moved.
I need a second. Okay. Any questions?
Excuse me, there's one addition to this list. We've been talking with the parking authority. It will be approved, or we'll have an answer, put it this way, next week, to include possibly their lot number 2, which is the main lot on Washington Avenue. The parking authority would be responsible for the cost of the actual work within there and the engineering time for the inspection within the work, that limit, and then the actual spec work for that. But if we can include it in the overall borough bid package, the costs are lower to them to potentially get a better project. The mobilization costs are already assumed because the contractors here working for the borough. Potentially it would be a lower bid because the economy of scale is greater. So it's a neat partnership that we can include the parking lot, with the parking authority into our package. It's just they would reimburse us the soft costs and actual work that's applicable to them. And it's easy to manage those funds, so it would be a good business decision if we could do it, and if they could do it as well.
Could you explain where we're getting this money from?
Yes, we split our budget for this project from the Liquid Fuels Fund. We get about $140,000 a year from Liquid Fuels, and then the remaining project budget, $160,000, $170,000, would be coming from the capital project.
And our liquid fuels keeps decreasing every year, correct?
Most municipalities is decreasing,
Okay.
yes.
All right.
Essentially, we kind of flatline now, because for a while there are decent peaks every year, then COVID happened and people stopped driving cars and the
Right.
fuels were paid off of your gas tax at the gas pump. And when that went down after the COVID year, you had a lot of influx of electric vehicles, and that brought down on it. But we're starting to see it go back up, but it's minor. Back in 2020, we got $150,000 160,000, now we're getting 140. So there is a haircut that we got from that.
I saw a note on here that Pennsylvania, it looks like they're considering putting in a water main, is that correct?
Yes, I had a memo to the Public Works Committee. We try to coordinate with the utility companies before we get too far with this. We went to the water company and the gas company. The gas company, their work in Bridgeville for this year is Grandview Avenue. And this is interesting, we can come back to that. Grandview Avenue, a very small sliver of Sarah Street where it intersects with Grandview, and Spruce Street, and some work on Bank Street. It kind of is, they're making preparations for the work on Chartier Street that's coming up with the Finland Slope project. Pennsylvania American Water is doing water line replacement in the 100 block of Union Street. We've been talking to them about several water breaks that's been happening on Pennsylvania. You know, Pennsylvania rates high on our road rating table to be redone, but knowing the amount of water breaks we're having on that street, we've asked them, hey, where does that street fall into your overall maintenance plan for, pipe replacement? They said they're still analyzing it, and they're supposed to get back to me later this month to see if they're gonna do it anytime in the next year or two. 2 years ago, the borough put, as part of our fee schedule, what's called a degradation fee. So as you see how we coordinate with these utility companies ahead of time so that it's not a waste of tax dollars and your utility fees of digging up brand new streets, we kind of put a fine on utility companies or anyone who gets a street opening permit that wants to dig up a newer road. And last year you saw Grandview was paved. Well, that put a higher degradation fee. So they got assessed an $8,800 fee to get that permit for Grandview, and they paid that last month. So we've had two fairly large success stories on degradation fees that I think other communities can model from, that it works. And,
Yeah,
That's what we're trying to
seeing
avoid.
that. I greatly appreciate you laying that out, and that stretch of Pennsylvania, there's gotta be 12, 15 divots where they've had to dig up that line, and, you having that in consideration for the paving, I appreciate it.
Yeah, I was hoping for an answer, and it wasn't no from their part. They are considering it.
Thanks, Jim.
All right. I need a motion to authorize.
We already had a
Oh,
motion,
okay.
second, just
All
ask
right.
them.
Joe and I gave it to you.
Yeah.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion passes.
And just for the minutes, that says amended, as you.
Oh, okay.
For the, parking.
Yeah, okay. All right, number 10, a motion to authorize the engagement of services with Cohen Law Group for the renewal of a cable franchise agreement with Verizon at a cost not to exceed $10,500.
I'll make a motion.
I need a second.
Second.
Any questions?
Yes, ma'am. More for Joe. Joe, I know we talked about with the digital streaming, is Cohen gonna look at that at all? I know we get something on the cable.
No, it's
Sure.
still on the cable.
We
That
can't
would
do
be a
anything with
state
it.
law.
Okay.
Yeah, or federal law, yeah. But in regard to the Cohen agreement,
Yeah.
it's nice this time with Verizon, our timing of it lines up with other COG
We
communities.
partnered up with
Oh,
5
okay.
others.
Yeah, and if you see on his proposal, the
Yeah,
fee
breakdown.
schedule, if several other communities come in, that fee drops significantly. And you'll see the 10.5 is the worst case, and depending on how many other towns sign up, that will go down. And I know, I talked to Crafton, last week Crafton's in, so I know others are showing
Yeah,
interest.
Cohen presented at the COG this past year when I covered for you, so you didn't win anything then.
All right. All in favor, say aye. Anyone opposed? Motion passes. All right, a motion to authorize hosting a household hazardous waste collection event on Wednesday, July 22nd with Noble Environmental and free electronic collection event on Saturday, August 8th. Both events are to be held at the firehouse parking lot. I need a motion.
Make a motion.
I need a second. Any questions? I have a question. Who's funding this?
The first one, the Noble one, you have to pay to participate.
Okay,
But what gets billed to the participants is only half of what the actual cost is. The other half is the borough. And then we get reimbursement from DEP on half of that. So the borough picks up a quarter, DEP's a quarter, and then the citizen pays the remaining 50%. On the TV one, the actual electronic companies are paying that company to do it.
all right. All in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? Motion passes. All right, a motion to engage the professional services of traffic planning and design, TPD, to complete traffic engineering services as outlined within their January 19th, 2026 proposal for the north end of Washington Avenue and into Collier Township at a cost not to exceed $30,000. Note, Collier Township to pay $15,000 and Bridgeville Borough to pay $15,000. I need a motion to authorize.
I so move.
I need a second.
Second.
Any questions? Has Collier already approved their section of it?
Their recommendation is from the manager to the board is to partner with them. But their board, similar to ours, we've worked with TPD in the past.
Right.
TPD is the traffic engineering firm that put together our active transportation plan. Their offices are actually on the pike down in the old Chemtech building. So they're very familiar with it. And I think like everyone pretty much remembers Mike Mudry, who walks through here every day. That's where that was. Collier was very interested in partnering with
Right,
TPD
right.
because they're the hometown.
Right. I mean, because this is a pretty extensive
Yeah.
contract. I
Yes,
was
we-
just wondering if they, Collier, had anything to add to the contract.
No, we
Okay.
met with them and everything's been, their concerns and questions have been addressed by Mike. We did receive 2 proposals and it was with another traffic engineering firm that we work with, both were identical, same price, same services. It was just then on who he had experience with. And both towns worked with TPD. The other town didn't work with the other firm.
So it says here, scope of additional services. Do we know what their cost is, since that's pretty clear of?
That would be negotiated, that's above the base work.
Okay.
So just remember when we did the active transportation
Right,
plan,
right.
they're very upfront, that's not in your scope.
Okay.
You remember how many planning
Right.
commission meetings we're disappointed in, that's not in our scope.
Right,
And
right.
we go, how much more is that? You know,
But we know their price.
so, I couldn't tell you
Okay,
that.
all right.
A la carte price.
Right, right. And also too, you know, in the traffic study, in number 2, it says it'll develop a 20-year traffic forecast for the projected area. All right? My question is, will that forecast include projected growth within like Upper St. Clair and Bethel Park?
They use regional data from the SPC that forecasts that.
Okay. And how far out do they take that, do you know?
I think right now you see 2045 is what
Well,
they're
no, what
saying.
she means area, and, right, you're looking
Yeah,
for area.
yeah.
It's, it doesn't go far because beyond that, it doesn't impact.
Effect.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's,
All right.
it's gonna be like, it's gonna be like a 10-mile radius, 20-mile radius, that's
Okay.
probably the impact.
Right. All in favor, say, oh,
Quick question. Where are they measuring the traffic? Is it just in, like coming down 50 or is it,
oh, they have a variety of
do they
stops.
measure it going up Presley or?
Hold on for a second, let me get my little thing here.
It's essentially the intersections from Mayor Street to Bower Hill Road.
Okay.
And the concept is essentially the widening the whole way to Bower Hill Road,
Gotcha.
not giving up at the truss.
Right,
But
right.
I think we all know that this is the last can that got kicked when it comes to traffic work on the pike because it's a very big problem. And the 2015 concept plan showed it ending at Presley Road. But PennDOT's concern was, okay, then all you're gonna do is shift the bottleneck to Presley Road. It really needs to be widened, or if you're gonna do any improvements, all the way to Bower Hill Road. The trestle does need to be analyzed and included in the project. I know it's expensive, and we'll hear the railroad, and we'll just go, I don't want to do that, you know? But now it's like, hey, we're shooting for the moon, it's time to.
So a lasso on it.
All right,
And you know what's funny, is even talking with Mike Mudry, so it's like, shooting for the moon isn't out of our realm. Like, he even said, he goes, who would have thought you'd see a 7-lane bridge, you know, on the south side of town? It's because you guys shot for the moon, so, well, let's shoot for the moon. So that's why we included going to Barnhill Road.
and we will get all these documents that are listed in that letter.
Yes, if you work performed for you. Yeah.
Okay, all right. All right, so I need a motion to authorize.
Motion.
We had a motion second.
We
did.
Okay.
Thank you.
Number 13, coming up.
All right. A motion to accept and pay any commission due January 26th real estate tax collector report. I need a motion to authorize.
I so moved.
Motion.
I need a set, okay, any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Okay, motion passes. All right, a motion to acknowledge receipt of the December 2025 and January 2026 treasurer's report. I need a motion to authorize.
Make a motion.
So moved.
All right, any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion passes. A motion to accept all submitted January 2026 official reports. I need a motion to authorize.
Make a motion.
Second,
Second?
any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, motion passes. All right. All right, so committee reports. At this time, I have actually no committee report, since we're just starting to get our bearings. Next is finance, Jason Ferry.
Yeah, same thing, we're gonna be looking to meet soon, but nothing to report at this time.
Parks and Rec, Shane Franchek.
Other than, the motion to submit the grant that Joe put up there in the minutes, Parks are just kind of closed with the winter as needed. You'll notice that the gates at Chartiers Park are closed in inclement weather, and just be safe. And yeah, once the spring breaks, we'll get out there and see what we're gonna do this year. But the walking trail's going in, you know, you got the, pavilion going up in the spring. Joe, any update on if they're gonna do anything? I know we've had severe, have they given you any?
No, we've reached out to him last week to get an update, just to say,
Yeah.
hey, is that shelter still on track to be delivered, you know, before March, April, so that we know what's going on, because park shelter reservations open
March 1.
correct, and we wanted to get a timeline of when we can start accepting reservations for the new shelter, because there's no reason why it can't be done in the spring. We want to know what the spring is, so that we tell people, yeah, after that date. So we're waiting for a response back.
They're all in Florida.
That's all I have. Thank you.
All right, Public Works, Buildings, Jason Strassman.
I got a lot.
Yeah.
Well, that's all I can say is snow, plowing, and salting. The Public Works did a phenomenal job taking care of all the 10 to 12 inches of snow we had. You know, they were working 22 hours straight. I went down and seen them a couple times, checking on them. They were really doing a phenomenal job. They continued the next following day, plowing, salting, and as it allowed, once the snow came to the point where we couldn't get around, we started removing snow off all the main thoroughways through Washington Avenue, some of the main streets, some of the Baldwin Street, so the cars can, you know, have passing through. Those guys really did a phenomenal job. All of them worked hard. You know, I got a chance to see most of all of them throughout the 2-day storm, and they all did a phenomenal job. So, kudos to those guys.
You did a good job.
I have a question. Did they have any complaints or any suggestions for,
Well, I mean, it's so hard to plow on some of the streets because you have cars blocked. So they try doing the best they could, or try to angle the one ways. And there's some people were complaining, well, hey, you know, they plowed us in this way, that way, but unfortunately, some of the streets were too narrow for them to do what they could. So, but they came back afterwards, the next following day, and tried to, you know, remediate what they did, so people had access to get to where they I mean, unfortunately, when you have that much snow, where do you put it all? And no matter what you do, some people are not gonna be happy where it ends up. I mean, but unfortunately, like in my alley, I mean, I had snow piled up and I had to, you know, get through it. I mean, unfortunately, you know, that's where it is, but, I mean, all in all, as far as the main streets, the hills, try to stay on top of everything. They plowed, they sawed it. I mean, those guys worked, you know, 22 hours straight, you know, so.
did they have suggestions?
You know, I talked to them, and, you know, the main thing that they discussed was, you know, it's so hard to try to do some of the plowing when you only have narrow, you know, and just try to, you know, try to put it all on one side. So I talked to a couple of guys, and maybe we can, you know, if we hit that much snow again, maybe we can try to alleviate and try to push it off on one side, and then come back and get it a little bit sooner. Unfortunately, it didn't go away. I mean, it didn't melt. I mean, it's just the march of the 40.
When was the last time Bridgeville had that much snow?
2010.
I remember that was, I remember Joe Mijai and them, Martha Bobcat, and they were taking all the snow off, you know, Washington Avenue back
Yeah.
in there, and off station and stuff like that, so.
The big help, like, I have a suggestion from the road crew was, if you noticed beforehand, we put out a text message, you know, please get your cars off the road. It's clear the streets, you know, even if you have to go talk to your neighbor and say, can I put my car in your driveway? That's really that's how we make this more efficient. And we did have a lot of people that did heed the notice and did move their cars. And I think that's what came out of this was we need to find ways that when significant snow is forecasted, get your stuff off the roads, including like basketball hoops and your trailers and your cars you know you're not going to move. You know, and then you'll hear someone say, I have nowhere to put it. Talk to your neighbor. You know, we gotta think bigger. But that came out of the suggestion of the crew. And we put that notice out, and some people listened, and it made a difference.
Yeah, I thought that was great.
All right, public safety, Nick?
Public safety, nothing to report. Would like to have a moment of both your time before we leave to set up some meetings with you. But I did want to thank Public Works on behalf of public safety for helping make their job a little easier. Thank you so much.
All right, Shore West Council of Governments, Joe Colissimo. What? Colosimo.
Couple of years. Yeah, we caught a meeting was in Kennedy Township this last month, I should say. Pacatino, who's president of the county council, was there, and he had a couple interesting things on public safety. EMS, evidently the county's come up with $3 million, which they're going to disperse $1 million a year to the EMS people for Narcan or stuff contributing to the drug problems. Where they got it, I don't know, but he said they got it, it's going to be distributed $1 million a year for the next 3 years. Evidently they're having discussions with the fire departments in the area. He said the big thing that was going on was that 2025 saw the most fire deaths in Allegheny County in history, according to him. And they're having discussions on regionalization of fire departments and the possibility of staffing the fire departments with 2 people for 24 hours a day. I'd be interested to see how they work that out as far as financially. And Anita Cook was also there with the closing of the Post-Gazette. She brought up there's a bill in the, I guess it's in the House of Representatives right now that for the, since Post-Gazette's closing up, it's going to be a difficult time advertising for our bids and whatnot. Municipal information that we normally put in the papers, but there's a bill in the House that would authorize to be able to do it online. They're saying they're cautiously optimistic, so hopefully if somebody buys the Post-Gazette or this thing goes through. And that was it. That's all I have.
Thank you, Joe. Mayor Betty Copeland.
The Eagle Scout court ceremony that I was supposed to participate in was canceled due to the storm, so we're waiting for them to reschedule so that we can honor the Patanko brothers for what they did for us at Chartiers Park. Valentine's Day is coming up on the 14th, and I got my first Valentine from little Eden, who is my little tree planting friend here in Bridgeville. She attends the Commonwealth Charter School. She's in first grade. And it says to Miss Betty from Eden, love Miss Betty, Mayor. Thanks, Eden.
She's a good kid.
And the Bridgeville South Fayette Rotary Club will be having their 6th annual trivia night on 4/11/26 at the Bridgeville Volunteer Fire Department Chartiers room. You're urged to get your tables now, $250 per table on or before before March 1st. You've all enjoyed it in the past, and since our former council president and Rotary member is here, maybe he would like to elaborate a little bit more on it.
Questions are gonna be harder this year.
I wasn't very good last year, so I don't know.
Well, I urge everybody to see him afterwards and sign up for
And
this.
that date again is?
4/11/26, 6 p.m. The doors open, the games begin at 7.
Great.
Teams are comprised of up to 10 players.
All right, all right.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Police Department, Gary James.
You have the December 2025 report, which is also obviously a year-end report, and you have the January 2026 reports in front of you. Any questions you have, I'll be more than happy to answer.
All right, thank you. Solicitor, Tom McDermott.
Thank you. I have nothing to add to my report.
Borough Engineer, John.
Thank you, Mr. President. You have a copy of our engineer's report. The only thing I have to add on top of that is we're working with the borough manager to look at the potential for putting a park at the end of Paris Street, overlooking the 79 there, so we can service that side of the community with some type of recreation facilities.
Thank you. Fire Chief.
Thank you, Council President. Our year-end report is as follows. We finished 2025 with a total of 396 calls. As Councilman Colosimo alluded to, not only was there a record of fire fatalities in 2025, it was actually one of our busiest years for structural fires. We fortunately had only had the one here in the borough, but we did respond to a total of 14 building fires last year. As far as overall calls go, the lead is definitely on the medical assist, 143 QRS calls. We had 22 accidents with injuries here in the borough, and then 18 accidents with non-injuries. Our average manpower per call, daylight responses are always the hardest in the volunteer fire service, with the fact that we don't have shift work anymore, but average response is 4 people afternoon and evening, and 1 to 2 during the day, with an average response time of 6 minutes and 24 seconds. That is time of dispatch to the time that crews arrive on scene. And all these reports are pulled from the 911 center. Mutual aid received for the year, 1.5%, total of 6 calls. Automatic aid is where the run card is designed to have more than one department. We had 99 assists into the borough, which is 25%. Mutual aid given, kind of the same thing, except we're going to their community. 85 Total calls were 21.5%, and then 50% of the calls were 199 in total, were just Bridgeville Fire Department response only. That being said, little recap on the snow response. First and foremost, I would like to thank the Public Works and Joe. We went around and was unburying hydrants as a fire department. We did come into some problem areas to where with the snowpack and things, it just couldn't be done. Public Works was gracious enough with all the other work that they had to unbury 3 hydrants for us, so we very much appreciate that. Snowstorm, we began staffing the station Saturday night at 11 p.m. In anticipation of call volume, something like Snowmageddon. I'm pleased to report that it seems like the public heeded the warnings. I think a big part of that too, if you remember, Snowmageddon was on a Friday, and we were only supposed to get like 4 to 6 inches. Obviously, we got a lot more than that. Well, this one was on a Saturday, so folks were home and they stayed home. But that being said, we started staffing at 11 p.m. on Saturday, just before the snow started. We had 15 personnel, 24 hours, for 24 consecutive hours, and then on Sunday, we had 13 personnel and another 6 that remained on Monday till 4 o'clock. So total manpower hours for the storm for the fire department, 624. That's the good news. The better news is we only had 2 calls, and they were both medical calls. So our guys weren't overworked by any means. So that's all I have. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
No, all I can say is thank you very much for spending, you and you guys for spending that time over it, because that was a long day.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Thank you.
much. I'm sure the residents appreciate
Yeah.
it.
Thank you.
Do you have something? All right, Southbridge EMS, Dan Miller is not here. Bridgeville Historical Society, Lisa, okay.
Our program is Sunday, February 22nd at 1:30 p.m. The program is Christopher Collin, the second owner of Woodbridge. Presenter is Tom Galler, who does historical tours at the Neville House and participates in reenactments of the French and Indian War. Sunday, February 22nd at 1:30. I hope you'll attend. Thank you.
Thank you. Aaron Weaver, Bridgeville Library representative.
So the library has hired a new teen librarian, and we are also currently seeking a new community services clerk at the front desk. And my last update is we are going to host an author talk with local author and Bridgeville resident Mark Burton on Wednesday, February 25th at 6 p.m. Thank you.
And Public Art Bridgeville will be
Sponsoring
sponsoring
at the library.
a sculpture show, right?
A sculpture show.
What day is that?
It'll be mid-April to mid-May. The reception is Saturday, April 18th.
Okay, great, thank you. It'll be a busy couple of months. All right, Bridgeville Parking Authority, Deb C.
How you doing, Tri-Colosimo? The Parking Authority will have a meeting on Monday, February 16th, which is next Monday at 7 o'clock here in the Borough Building. The remaining 2 lights needed in Lot 1 have been installed, so Lot 1 is now well lit. Trash pickup continues monthly in all of the lots, and this is the big one. The recent snow event has obviously created challenges for both the borough and the authority. Our contracted snow maintenance provider was able to plow and move snow over several evenings with minimal loss of parking spaces. But to be understood, you had to lose some of them. I mean, we had a couple of complaints, but overall, we did a good job. Installation of additional signage regarding the fine maximums and the violation reminders is still pending. And the Bridgeville Borough Parking Authority continues to operate in the black. And last, we have received lot number 2 and lot number 5 repair estimates from our engineer, and we're working towards 2 grant submissions with the borough manager's assistance. And we've been in talks with Joe Power to move forward on this because lot 2 definitely needs some repair work. And it's taken a couple of years to build the bank up after being in the red $84,000. So we're getting there.
Thank you, Deb. Bridgeville Planning Commission representative. Dale?
Thank you, Madam Chairman. We've had a good year last year, doing a lot of hard work and got a lot of projects completed off the active transportation and comp plan list. And by the end of this month, I will be getting the council a year-end report. So that'll list a lot of the projects and stuff we've been working on. We did not meet last month due to the storm, but what we're working on now is looking at all the comp plan and active transportation projects that have not been completed, and trying to put together a 5 to 10 year list plan for how we're going to approach those projects, and you know, hopefully that way we can work with Joe and you know, budget some funds for some of these projects, so for completion. Our meeting this month, we'll be talking about Earth Day and community cleanup, and so we'll decide on a date, and so look for that to come in the future. One of the other things that we're working on is looking at a parklet over on the west side. So.
All right, thank you, Dale. Borough Manager Joe Carr.
A couple items for the month. The borough did receive a multimodal grant for a little under $93,000 to do the Valverde Road Crossing project. We're still waiting for the grant contract. Once we get the grant contract, we'll get with John and get with you guys to authorize putting the specs together. There is some easement work that we have to do, but we've been holding off to see if we get the grant money, because a lot of that can be reimbursed back to the grant.
So that's same location.
Same location. I know we're gonna have to go to railroad, and the railroad's expensive, so we put that money into the grant. So hopefully that will all work out. You saw on the agenda was authorizing submittal for another grant for the Chartiers Park lights, the field lights. If you remember last month's council meeting, we did receive a $150,000 local share account grant for that project. The project's estimated at $550,000. So with the 150 grant, we still got to come up with 400,000. So there's still a big void there that we can't take this on our own. So we're still looking for other grant sources. So on the agenda was authorizing a resubmittal of that grant request through the DCNR to try to plug that hole. Regarding the flood project, if you remember last month, we did receive a $305,000 grant to replace the culvert. And a couple years before that, through the support of Devin Robinson, we got $1 million for the flood project. So right there, we're at $1.3 million. The culvert is estimated around $2 million to replace. We did receive, and I've been updating you, another FEMA grant for $712,000. So that gives us the $2 million. Over the past 6 months or so, John, we've been doing every month, pretty much every couple weeks, and we report back on the crazy reviews they've been having us to go through. We received an email, maybe about a month ago, saying that they completed their final reviews and we should be getting into the contract phase. So that's a nice light at the end of the tunnel in one aspect of that. So once we get that paperwork, we're in a position where we could let John out of the gate to get running on the culvert replacement, and we could figure out a good game plan because the money is in place for that aspect of the project. Regarding the larger brick money, the one that the administration took back from us back in April, the $5.3 million, we had bad news, maybe about like 3 weeks ago, that the appropriation that Senator Fetterman was advancing for us didn't get advanced further. They came up with a new rule at the federal level that if your project was a canceled brick project, you weren't eligible for appropriations. So it kind of like killed us. But if you do remember, the lawsuit that the governor and several other states initiated did get a court victory. So now they're trying to figure out where FEMA is on moving ahead with releasing those brick funds. There hasn't been an appeal yet made by FEMA, but they haven't done anything. So we do have a court victory, but we haven't got to move. So that project is still an uphill battle, but there is some progress being made in that respect. Dovetailing what Councilman Sarasnik was talking about with the storm and the fire guys and everyone, it was a wonderful team exercise beforehand. Kind of knowing what we dealt with in 2010, we were prepared, so emergency management wise, we coordinated ahead of time if we needed emergency shelters, and we worked with Bethany Church and Goodwill Villa to see if we had to do something worst case. It was a very well-oiled machine with the ambulance, the fire, the police, the public works. Everyone really worked well together, and it couldn't have gone any nicer. In regard to that, it was a nice storm where we didn't use much salt. It was just snow plowing. As you probably saw in the news, there's nationwide salt shortage, and now that's really affecting us here. We were fortunate. We're going into last month. We got deliveries here and filled our bin right before they started turning the COG deliveries off. But now we're at critical salt level there, and orders are tied up on barges, they're telling us. But we were able to get a couple loads through Jason's connections that really did save us. But we do have an issue where I'm trying to look for our help, that we need to really work together on and developing a strategy to replace our salt bin. We do have an antiquated salt bin. It holds about 400 tons, but we usually use 900 tons here on a severe winter. So if we could find a place to essentially just double the size of that bin, that footprint, it would allow us to have more in stock here, that we don't have to worry about salt orders. If you remember, not even that long ago, 4 years ago, if I would put a salt order in on Monday, those trucks were here on Wednesday. They used to be a quick turnaround of 3 days. Now it's 7 days, and that's a good turnaround. But our bin is small, and with 400 ton, it is very nerve-wracking and anxious that if deliveries are coming and it keeps snowing, and the expectation of a plus service that the citizens expect, it's hard to keep up with that reality. We have been doing it, but we're right now at a critical supply level that hopefully gets worked out because the weather's looking nice. But I'm looking for help, that we need to strategize, budget, a plan to build another one, make a new one, improve it, something. So I'm just bringing that to the radar. And we did talk about this a couple of years back, and it got some kickback from PennDOT and the railroad and everything when the issues were going on the I-79 bridge project. So this was on the radar before, but it kind of went away, and then now it's come back on a different level. Before, PennDOT was telling us we had to move the thing, but now it's not a matter of that. It's a matter of necessity, because the deliveries aren't keeping up. So we need to have the ability to have more of a supply here from the start of winter. We go into the winter every year with a full bin, so it isn't a matter of, like John Q. Public saying, oh, you failed, why didn't you order in June? What we do order in June, that bin's full, and it's overflowing. It's perpetual. It keeps going, and you use it, and it's hard to keep up. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention. With that, I had two other things. The 2025 audit is underway, and we're working with Turnley to coordinate that. So maybe in a couple months, we'll have him come back and present the 2025 audit. But as we said at last month's meeting, 2025 finances ended favorably for the year, and we were in a good, strong financial position going into the next year. The next thing really should have been under Fire Chief's report. Was that you probably saw that the fire company purchased a new pumper. I think that's notable for the council meeting. But what I bring to your attention is that we went on record, and it's always been the practice where the borough contribution, most of it funds the loans on the ladder truck. The ladder truck was a 15-year note that is paid off in 2029. We've been strategizing and talking with Ray and his staff for a long time now that how do we keep that going so that in 2029 you get another order in place so that loan payment just goes to the next truck. So Ray, I think if you could update us on that.
Sure. So the fire department actually started in April of last year. looking at different fire truck manufacturers. We narrowed that down before we really got into an official shopping capacity to the manufacturers of Pierce, who is the manufacturer of our ladder truck, E1 and Spartan. Went ahead and visited the factory for Pierce in Appleton, Wisconsin. We sent 4 guys out there, walked through their whole process, went through all that, did the same thing at E1, got the bids back. We are excited to announce that we did accept the bid from E1. It was almost $80,000 cheaper than the Pierce bid. That fire truck, it has been officially ordered. It is a 36-month turnaround for the order, so therefore we will not take receipt of that truck until somewhere in the first quarter of 2029, with a 2-year deferred payment plan. So we will actually secure the financing that year formally secure the financing that year through the bank. So the first payment will not fall due until the September of 2030 allotment from the money that we receive from the borough. We have downsized in some aspects of the operations in which we offer. We went from a heavy rescue unit, being the only heavy rescue unit in the immediate area, to a mid-rescue. And the reason being is because everyone around us has a heavy rescue now. We just don't see the number of rescues in Bridgeville. It was a fact-based decision. We researched the numbers back 16 years. In 16 years, we only did 4 extrications. It didn't warrant a heavy rescue purchase. That heavy rescue would have been a $1.5 million purchase in and of itself. So the mini rescue that you guys are aware of that we ordered months ago, coming at 500, I apologize, I don't have these numbers right in front of me, but 550,000, and then the engine come in at 1,130,000. That being said, fire trucks have gone up 55% since COVID. If you Google that on your phone right now, you'll see that statistic. It's mind-boggling. Just so you know, when you guys assisted us in purchasing that ladder truck in 2016, it was $1.2 million. That fire truck is almost $3 million today. So I know it may not seem it when you hear this big number, but I can assure you that we were very conscientious about what we bought, and definitely got the most bang for our buck, and was definitely fiscally responsible to our residents, to the borough, and to the department itself. I'll answer any questions.
This is not in reference to the most recent truck, but what is the tallest building that you can access?
So Bridgeville Towers and Grandview Towers, both 11-story high-rises, okay? 11 stories from the rear. So when you look at Bridgeville Towers from here, you're looking at the rear. We can get to the top floor of that building from the front side, but we're 1 story shy from the back side. Okay. Grandview Towers, different animal. When you actually enter Grandview Avenue, or Grandview Towers, you're entering on the 4th floor from Grandview Street. So there's 4 floors below grade, and then there's an additional 7 from that point. So we can get to the top of the building, in theory, on Grandview. And I say in theory because one thing that hinders us there is the way the power lines run. So the upper floors we can hit, but we actually can't hit floors 5, 6, and 7 from the front side of Grandview Towers with the ladder truck.
Thanks.
And then we shared with the finance committee every quarter. We sit down with the fire chief and the administration over there and review financial reports. And this kind of keeps us all on the same page to see what we could do to help out the fire company. 2 years ago, we helped out with an issue making up with a funding shortage gap to replace the air pack. So from that, we try to get ahead of the issues and the problems. And it has a very good rapport, and it's showing progress being made in a very efficient operation over there. And this pumper order, it shows the job that our readiness team is doing. So it's really a success that we'd like to keep that wonderful rapport moving forward.
And we thank you from the fire department. We thank you for the assistance that you guys give us.
Joe, thank you. You did a wonderful job.
I'm sorry?
He did a good job.
You did, and
No,
you
no,
did.
great. That's
Coordinated
great.
everything with the snow. You did a wonderful job.
All right.
The snow was a team. Yes, the guys downstairs deserve the credit.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Greg, Ed, Bill, Greg,
You were on top
all
of
the
that.
guys, Jeremy.
Thank you very much. You did a wonderful job, Joe. Thank you.
Joe.
Trejo had mentioned the graffiti. I know we don't own it, we just contact them to clean up their graffiti, and their lot's still full. Has there been any?
Regarding that property maintenance issue, I did talk to the owner. He's having trouble getting it off, obviously, because it's so cold.
Yeah.
But he did say that when the weather breaks, he'll have a power washer there to address it.
No movement on anyone buying that land or?
Not yet, no. There was talk of a drugstore going in there, but I think they're still in limbo right now.
All right, new business. Here we go. Discussion item. A motion to authorize the solicitor to prepare an ordinance that would amend the Bridgeville Code of Ordinances, Chapter 10, Health and Safety, Part 6, prohibiting the parking or storage of certain vehicles and equipment, to prohibit the parking of any type of trailer on public streets in excess of 24 consecutive hours. Comments? Questions?
Well, my comment, right,
Go ahead, sir.
my comment would be, you take an inventory of these people who they have, who they own, these cars and things that, did you talk to them? Because we do have few that park on the street, but where else are they gonna go?
Well, a trailer. I didn't go and
Oh,
talk.
only a trailer,
No, this is only trailers.
okay.
So, for example, I can park my pontoon boat up on Universal Street. And right now, we're asking citizens to move their cars because of significant snow. And we have folks parking pontoon boats on the streets, jet skis on the streets, box trailers all over town that are essentially de facto storage containers, you know? So this came out of the snowstorm, was there any recommendation from the Public Works Department? Before the storm, it was, hey, can you try to get people to move your cars off the road, which we did. After the snowstorm, it was, God, what the heck's with all these trailers on the street? They didn't even move them. And essentially, if you knew that snow was coming, not that I'd like to see it, but like, put your trailer in your yard, do something with it. But it really just called the attention that the streets are being used more of a parking lot for more than just your car.
I mean, and it's not a temporary, usually, situation. They leave them there for quite some time.
The ones that are on the streets right now have been there for months.
My only concern is someone works on a Friday and has a trailer and uses it for work. And he does park it and leaves Monday. You know, it'll be more than 24. I mean, that's my only concern. If it's an active work in progress. That's my only concern. If someone's using it as a way to make a living, that's, but I mean, maybe the police can take a look and maybe, you know, with public safety, start looking at some of the abandoned vehicles that might be, you know, I know at one time, pretty adamant about some of the abandoned vehicles. I don't know, you know, where we're at with some of them now. I mean, well, now with snow, it's kind of rough, but going on, maybe you could, not only have full staff, police, maybe you could put someone on that to actually really start getting on some of the people that have inspections that are 2021, so it's parked in the house, in front of the house. Or you have a trailer, prime example, it's parked in there, or a pontoon boat that's inspections out in 2023. So that's something we have to maybe do due diligence and maybe take a look and, you know, start tagging and maybe telling some of these people that actually don't want to do what's supposed to be done.
We maybe rephrase it a bit to more recreational, as opposed to, and then making sure people who have the trailers, we maybe look at some sort of code, hey, if you're using this for business, just come down and get this certified so we know it's strictly for business and when it's gonna be on the streets, as opposed to, you know, going strict 24 hours, because there are a lot of recreational vehicles or trailers that are, I don't wanna say littering, but loitering in our streets. And it does make it not as accessible for our safety, for not only our public works, but for our EMS, our police, our fire, to access streets and roads and even fire hydrants because of that.
I mean, can we maybe, just thinking out of the box, maybe look at it as we have a snow emergency and the streets have to be clear. All right, those vans or those trucks, those box trucks, those ski-doos that have been sitting there since summer have to go. Get off of the road so that we can public works. I mean, 22 hours those guys worked, right? And they were working around these trucks
And that was the
and
big thing,
everything.
you get around them, yeah.
And then, they complain, then you hear complaints that.
They didn't do my street because they couldn't get around.
Right. So, it's.
It's a double-edged sword,
Right.
basically,
So what do we want to do? Do we want to mull it over? Do we want to look at alternatives? Do we want to break it down?
Do you know any neighboring communities, is that kind of a standard, what is being suggested?
I know in my experience working for 3 towns, this is the only town that allows them.
Yeah, in most places, it's not considered parking, that's kind of storage. So
Right.
In a lot of places, they don't allow you to store boats, recreational vehicles and whatnot in the front yard. So you got to actually have them on the side yard or in your back, and now.
How about just on Elm Street?
we could do that.
I think we need to have something in there.
I agree.
Yeah, I like the spirit of it. I would just say that, if there's somebody who's in an emergency situation, the 24 hours is really restrictive. But I do agree with the spirit of it, that we don't want our streets to be parking lots.
Yeah, literal stuff that's,
Yeah.
they sit there for months, like boats and stuff, it has to go. There's no doubt about it. We may look at 48 consecutive hours, because if someone's working, bring a trailer home, they'll load stuff out of their house, and it's parked in the street,
Right.
and it might be on a Friday, and, so, just so it's not.
I've even seen dumpsters on the road, all right? People renovating, So, just out of curiosity, could you give somebody like that a temporary permit?
We do coordinate dumpsters on
Okay.
the road. We do
Okay.
coordinate here, we facilitate through the police department. It's essentially, they make sure you get a fire truck through them. But we
Okay.
tell them like no more than a week.
Is that an option?
Police can,
I don't know if we want to make this.
Recreational?
we don't want to encourage.
No,
Right.
you're encouraging, I can leave a box trailer on the street, you rule.
And sometimes the box drawers are inspected, right, registrations, that might be something the police could maybe take a look at and say, take a look at them, maybe make a punch list of things as the weather changes, comes more.
We'll pick an area at a time.
Okay.
We'll go one area at a time. We do have a guy that's assigned, his duties is strictly, he gets assigned all the junk vehicles. So as we come across them, we write it down, we type up the report, we send it to him. He does all the follow-ups with how many hours you've been to bring the vehicle into compliance. But we try to work as much as possible with the residents to get them.
But in really, in excess of 24 hours, Chief, like you're saying, you guys are gonna see him, and if it's a Friday night, he's leaving on a Monday, we're not gonna beat him up too much, but we have that card in our pocket if it's a repeat offender or someone that's taking advantage, so.
Well said. That's how most of the rules here.
Yeah, it's still off, it's open to not interpretation, but wiggle room.
We have wide discretion.
There you go.
Deb, you have
Good
a,
idea.
I just want to ask a question. As it stands right now, I could bring my camper home and park it in front of my house and leave it there? That's crazy. Not that I would, but
And there's if it's a non-weatherized thing, there's an argument that that's just not, that's storage.
and the next question then,
There's an
I
argument.
could park it in my front yard. There's no ordinance that says you can't park in what we look like Skid Row around here. That's what's gonna end up happening. And I know like certain areas that there's ski-doos and box trucks and they'll just be in the front yard now.
Well, we can include those sorts, and it's pretty common in a lot of places, and again, it's considered more storage than parking, and the storage has to either be in a driveway, some communities require it to be in a side yard or a rear yard.
I think planning talked about this at one point, didn't we?
Oh, no, don't bring us in.
20 years.
This is your deal.
too bad. Okay. All right, so where are we?
I think Tom can draft
I
up.
think, I can give you some thoughts between Joe and I, we can put
Yeah.
something together just to.
Sounds good next month?
Okay, yeah.
All right.
Sound good?
So you were gonna authorize?
Yep.
Yeah, all right, so we're going to authorize the solicitor to prepare an ordinance that would amend the Bridgeville Code of Ordinances, Chapter 10, Health and Safety, Part 6, prohibiting the parking of storage of certain vehicles and equipment, to prohibit the parking of any type of trailer on public streets in excess of 24 consecutive hours.
Jason said 48.
Okay,
Just
48?
because if someone's working there
Okay, all right.
and they bring a trailer home, that's my only.
It actually helps, we can actually define storage as parking in excess of 48 hours,
Okay.
leaving it, in excess of 48 hours.
I need a motion.
I'll make a motion.
I need a second.
Second.
Any questions?
I'm stating, not because I have a trailer or anything, but I think it should be really a good way to do this. I don't see that it's gonna happen with an ordinance right away. Maybe I'd much rather to send all these people who have this, send them an ordinance will be prepared soon, blah, 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 blah. I have to, I'm not gonna vote in favor of this.
You say no.
We got two choices.
You say no.
Then you say no, you don't
You
abstain.
can't abstain.
You're gonna be
Yeah,
up there,
no,
and you
it's
say yes or
correct.
no.
Thank you.
This is just
I should know
authorizing.
better, yeah.
No.
The idea is wonderful, but hit him with the hammer just right away. Why don't we take a survey on this and advise these people? Where they gonna go? Where they gonna go? I don't know. That's something that I have no idea how to resolve that.
I'm not that familiar with these box trailers. Is it a big, like, 40-foot box trailer we're talking about, or is it a little tool trailer?
Cargo trailers.
No.
But we do have probably a 35-foot pontoon boat.
I mean, I know it's.
35-foot trailer that parks down on the end of Hickson Street.
There's storage trailers probably involved with the business or something. Probably, think.
I don't know. They're all in residential areas.
Yeah, so I know where those pontoon boats are. I got 2 or 3 trucks up there.
All right.
Part of the business, I would think, but I'm not sure.
But maybe to give you peace of mind, let's just say if this was enacted tomorrow, all ordinance violations, you get provided an ordinance violation letter ahead of time, giving you notice of what the rule is and how to abate the situation. If you fail to comply, take a proactive measure, that's when enforcement comes in. So we don't come in with a hammer, we come in with a friendly letter that explains the rules, what it is, this is the correct measure. It may not be friendly because you don't like it, but you do get that letter instead of a hammer.
I mean, I think everybody that owns something that they park on the street like that has to assume at some point it's their responsibility to store it.
So I'm gonna agree with that, and I do know there's been precedent set in our community where community members have been asked and told by our borough, predating Joe, to move trailers and campers out from out front of their homes and out from beside their homes, where those members of our community went and actually bought property to put it on. So if we have to do that for one community member, every community member should be held to that same standard.
All right, so we have, do I need to take this vote again?
No, you did, we all,
Okay.
all people but one.
Okay. Motion, did you vote?
No,
One way, a thumbs up or thumbs down, I guess.
thumbs up.
Okay. All right, motion passes.